together. So it was really great. That even started here a couple of weeks ago. We had our scholars from both Indonesia and Timor-Leste all came together in the embassy here to meet, to make connections, and to be ready to set off this month to the UK. But that continues throughout your year, and it also continues through joining the Chevening alumni community that currently globally stands at around 60,000 people once you return to your country. So we're really keen that Chevening is an experience that lasts a lot longer than when you return home. Thank you very much today to our speakers from the University of East Anglia and Stirling, and also Joktan, who will be the person that you're, I'm sure, most keen to hear from, who is a Chevening alumni from Timor-Leste who studied in the UK in 2022 to 23. So let me just finish by encouraging you again to take up this opportunity, apply now or think about the routes for you to apply in the future, maybe this year or maybe later. And we really look forward to both reading your applications and also hopefully meeting some of you this time next year in the embassy here in Indonesia, as you're excited to set off your year in the UK and the start of your Chevening journey. So thanks for coming. I hope it's useful, and we'll have some time for questions right at the end that I'll be around for. So if you've got any questions specifically for me, then feel free to ask them later on. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Harry, for the greetings. So just want to say again, everybody, welcome to the Chevening webinar. This webinar is a part of the series, and this time is to meet the alumni from the Timor-Leste. But today is actually quite special because we have Into Global, and we will have representative from the University of East Anglia and University of Stirling who will also share about the university. So you can kind of, you know, have a little bit of information on what the UK university offer for us in Timor-Leste. And without further ado, I think we will start with introducing you about what is actually Chevening scholarship is all about, what are the eligibility criteria, what do the scholarship offer, and when and how can you apply for it. So let me introduce you to my colleague, Mbak Foni. Please join us today and feel free to start the presentation. The time is yours.
Thank you very much, Laras. Can you hear me okay? Am I audible? Yes, thank you. So thank you everyone again for joining us for this event this afternoon. It's very nice to meet you all. So I will kick off this session by giving you brief presentations on the Chevening scholarship programs, and hopefully it will give you enough details of what the scholarship program is about. And we will have a chance for a question and answers with all the speakers after all the presentations delivered today. All right, so now let's begin with first of all, obviously, the first question in mind is, what is the Chevening Scholarship Program? For those of you who are not familiar yet with this program, the Chevening Scholarship Program is the UK government flagship scholarship program available to more than 160 countries in the world, obviously including Indonesia and Timor-Leste. It is a fully funded scholarship program from the UK government to study master degree in the UK. And under this award, there is no prioritized or no specific field of study that we are targeting. It means that the program is open to all field of studies, as well as it is open to all universities in the UK. So that includes all universities in the regions of England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. Again, as mentioned before, this is the UK government scholarship program. It is funded by the FCDO, we call it, which is the Foreign Commonwealth and the Foreign Office, as well as with our partner organizations. And the aim of why we are partnering with the partner organization is for us to be able to add or to increase the quota for eligible individuals to be able to study in the UK. The next is about who we are looking for this Chevening scholarship program. As Harry has mentioned, the scholarship program is open for future leaders. We are looking for people who have a drive and commitment to make a positive and lasting change back to their community and back to their home country after they're completing their 1-year study in the UK. So this is very important that you will then need to be able to demonstrate your experience as well as your capacity and your potential to be a future leaders. We would need to see the specific examples of how you have shown your capacity to be a future leaders or a change makers or someone who is potentially able to make a long-lasting positive impact to your country when you completed your degree in the UK later. Now, the next is about the eligibility criteria. These are all the requirements that you would need to fulfill when you are thinking to apply for the Chevening program scholarship. So the first academic criteria is obviously the minimum degree in undergraduate level, and then the minimum 2 years of work experience, which is here is listed as equivalent to 2,800 hours. And this work experience can include experiences in volunteering, in internship, and as well as in part-time employment. So it doesn't have to be full-time employment experience. It can be accumulated. So for example, if you already have 1 year full-time work experience, but then you also have experience in doing internship while you are doing your bachelor degree, this can be added or this can be accumulated so that you have the minimum 2 years worth of experience. And the most important point, obviously, as touched before, is that you have to demonstrate your outstanding future leadership potentials, which will be shown to us through the essays that you will need to create. And I will explain later on about the essays on the later slides. So as you can see from this slide, these are all the requirements that you need to be able to apply for the Chevening scholarship program. As the list shows, we do not require any English proficiency certificate, such as IELTS or TOEFL or the like. The Chevening does not ask for this. As well as we do not ask for the LOA or the letter of acceptance from the UK universities. So at this stage, at this application stage, we do not require IELTS or TOEFL as well as the LOA. So you will only need to fulfill all the 4 criteria as shown here in the screen. Also, we do not have age limit. The Chevening program is open to everyone without age limit, and it's open as well for anyone who already have their master degree. So it means that anyone can still try to apply for the Chevening scholarship program to do a second master in the UK. And of course, this has to be explained to us through your essay. Why do you need the second master? Right. The Chevening program scholarship is a fully funded scholarship program. So it means it covers 100% of all costs associated with your study in the UK. It will cover your tuition fee, as well as the living allowances, the return flight to the UK, your visa application fee, the TB test required for the visa, the health insurance while you are in the UK, as well as the arrival and departure allowances. So there is no personal cost needed from you to be able to undertake your study in the UK under the Chevening Awards. There is a small note here that you need to be mindful of. It's about the Chevening fee cap only for the MBA program. So if any of you would like to do an MBA program, we do have a maximum limit, which is the 22,000 pounds sterling for the tuition fee only. Obviously, the MBA program in the UK costs more than the 22,000. And so what you can do and what has been told to us by our alumni is that you can get a partial scholarship from the university to top up the allowances that is given by Chevening. So it means that you can still do your MBA program in the UK with 100% scholarship, that being 22,000 from the Chevening, and the excess is from your university. Of course, there is still a process to apply the scholarship to the university, and there are requirements. But from what we heard from our alumni, is that they've been able to do so. They've still been able to do an MBA program. Again, please be mindful that this is only applies to MBA program. Any other programs, even if their tuition fee costs more than 22,000 pounds sterling, we still cover for it 100%. So any other program other than MBA, we still cover for 100% for the tuition fee, even though it costs more than 22,000. And as well as for the MBA program, the limitation is only on the tuition fee. We still cover 100% for the living cost and other allowances. So there is no cap on the living cost and allowances, only the cap for the tuition fee for the MBA program. Right. The Chevening is all about leadership, but as well as it's all about networking. Because what you are getting from the Chevening scholarship is not only the degree, the high quality educations from the UK world-leading universities, but also an opportunity to be part of the global network of leaders, of future leaders. So this is something that is very recognized by the Chevening program, something that is beyond than just the education, is that giving you the opportunity to network and to make potential collaborations in the UK while you are studying in the UK. During your 1 year study in the UK, there will be more than 60 events or activities organized by the Chevening Secretariat that you can register, and then that you can also participate in this program. And those type of activities varies, starting from, for example, meet the CEO or visit to the UK Parliament, or the internship opportunities, as well as the volunteering opportunities, and as well as the fun activities. For example, field trips to the countryside of the UK, for example, or even going to the football stadium together, for example. So all of these are specifically curated by the Chevening Secretariat to give you the best chance for you to meet people, to network, and to really maximize your experience, as well as immersing yourself in the UK culture and as well as in the UK professional lives. And all costs associated with you to join this event organized by the Chevening Secretariat are also covered by the Chevening program. So there is no cost whatsoever that you will need to pay by yourself. So for example, if you are studying in Glasgow, for example, or even if you're studying anywhere else, but you would like to join an event organized by the Chevening Secretariat in London, all costs associated with going to London will be covered by the Chevening Secretariat. So it's fully covered for you to attend and to give you the best chance and to maximize your opportunity while you are in the UK. Now, this is new because this year, in 2024, we have just launched the Chevening ASEAN Scholarship. So it's basically another additional quota for Asian member countries, but as well as Timor-Leste, because Timor-Leste is included in the list. It means there is another additional quota for awardee from Timor-Leste to be awarded under the Chevening ASEAN Scholarship. There is no difference whatsoever in terms of the requirements and as well as in terms of the application process. So all of you should just apply as usual and need to fulfill the requirement as usual as per the regular Chevening scholarship that I've just mentioned earlier. There is no difference, but then the selection panel will then make consideration on which candidate will be awarded under the Chevening ASEAN scholarships. The coverage is obviously the same as the regular Chevening program, which is still 100% fully funded study a master degree in the UK. But the different unique advantage for those who will be awarded under the Chevening ASEAN scholarship is that there will be an additional ASEAN-focused activities while they are doing their study in the UK. So in addition to all the activities that I just mentioned in the last slide earlier, there are other Asian-focused activities that they can participate in, as well as the opportunity to be part of the Chevening ASEAN alumni after they return back to their home country. So this is as this is the first year we just launched this Chevening ASEAN Scholarship, then you will be part of the pioneering group, yeah, as the first awardee for the Chevening ASEAN Scholarship. Now, Chevening has been around since 1983, and currently we have more than 50,000 alumni across the world, out of which we have 20 alumni who are currently the head, the world leaders, or also the former world leaders. And in Timor-Leste, we have around 50 alumni that we are trying to keep in touch, and have been also active in the WhatsApp group as well. You will see that the alumni community consists of a very wide range of professional fields, yeah, ranging from the climate change, the gender equality, human rights, journalism, educations, and so forth. So now let's take a look at the notable alumni example globally. But I think most interesting would be for you guys to find out who are the notable alumni from Timor-Leste. Yeah? So we do have a list here, including Mr. Bendito, who is currently your Minister of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation, as well as Mr. Jose Lucas, Mr. Fidelis, and so forth. So as we have no limit of the priority field of studies, you do get to be part of all of these varied professionals who are now already in very influential positions and will be able to get connected with you once you have completed your study in the UK. All right, so Chevening only opens once a year, and this year we have opened for applications on the 6th of August and still open until the 5th of November. So we have around about 1 month, 1 month and a half until the closing of the application date. Remember that you only need the 4 requirements to fulfill the 4 listed requirements as in the earlier slide for you to submit your applications to the Chevening website for the online application form. So after all of the applications are submitted by the closing date, we will start the first selection, and the first selection is done by the Independent Reading Committee in the UK. So the Independent Reading Committee will read all of the applications coming in through the website, and then they will make a long list to be sent to us here at the British Embassy in Jakarta for us to do our short list and to create a list for interview. The interview will be the second selection and the final selection of the process. So there are only 2 stages of the application process. First is the application, and the second is the interview. And the interview is usually scheduled between late February until late April. This is next year, in 2025. Afterwards, we will announce the interview results by June, which is usually by the mid of June. So by this time, you would know if you are successful or not to be awarded the Chevening program. And afterwards, in the mid of July, this is our strict deadline for LOA. As you can see, there is a very tight timing between the announcement until our strict deadline for you to submit at least 1 LOA. And that's why we always recommend to candidates to not wait until you hear the announcement, but we would recommend for you to apply to the UK university to try to get your LOA in parallel with when you are applying for your Chevening application. Because the process to get an LOA from the UK university can take time. So I would strongly suggest for you not to wait until the announcement. Usually what we recommend is for the candidates, after they focus on their essays for the application and submit their application by the 5th of November, then they can start focus to apply to the UK universities as well as to meet the requirement from the UK universities. when you apply or when you fulfill your online application form, you will need to state 3 choices for your course option and university option. So your first preference, second preference, and third preference. You will need to state this in your online application form. However, we do not ask LOA, at the application stage. And that's why after you submit your application, then you can switch focus to try to get the LOA from one of the 3 universities that you have mentioned in your application form. Because the deadline for the LOA is very strict, we cannot postpone the deadline. And if you are not able to submit at least 1 LOA by the deadline, it means that your Chevening offer will be withdrawn. And then you will need to reapply again next year. So it's very unfortunate. And that's why I would strongly suggest again that you would try to apply to the universities in parallel while you are applying to Chevening program. And then in August, we will have the pre-departure briefing, which is usually held here at the Police Embassy in Jakarta. And for the candidates, for the awardees to finally depart to the UK to start their study in next September or October 2025. Right. Now, these are the 4 themes of essays that you will need to create when you fill in your application to the Chevening program. So there is a maximum word limit for each of the theme, which is 500 words per theme, And the first theme is about leadership and influencing. The second theme is about networking and relationship building, and then study in the UK and career plan. As mentioned earlier, we are looking for future leaders, someone who has the commitment to make positive, lasting change to the country, to their home country after they completed their degree. So in the leadership and influencing theme, you would need to demonstrate to us what is your experience to lead or to influence people. You don't need to be current already in the leadership position, because again, here the keyword is future leaders. As a team member, you can choose example to show that you are influencing others within your team members, for example. So please be mindful that you don't need to assume that we have to be already in the leadership position to be eligible to apply for Chevening. And then in the networking and relationship building, what we are looking for is because we really recognize the value of networking. We want to know what is your experience in being part of a community, for example, or have you tried to initiate a community? And how does your community or the organization that you are part of making impacts to those around you? So those are the kind of examples and the kinds of elaboration that we would need to see from your essay. On why study in the UK, again, you need to be very specific on why you choose to go to the UK in addition to any other countries. So what is it about UK? What is the added value that UK offers that you feel that you have to go to the UK and not to the other countries? As well as why do you choose to study the 3 choices that you have identified and the 3 universities that you have identified in your application form? And how is it the degree and the qualification in the UK then can support your career plan? So that continues. This continues on to the last essay about your career plan. It's about what are you going to do after you complete your degree in the UK. After you complete your degree and go back to your home country, to Timor-Leste, what is your plan? What is the step-by-step plan, or what is the roadmap to achieve your target? And specifically how the UK degree and the UK experience can help you to do this. So this is what we would like to see from your essays. Remember, you have to stand out. The essay is basically your chance, your first chance to tell us who you are, what is your passion, and what is you wanting to do to make it better for your country. This is your first chance, and that's why you need to fully concentrate on how to better or prepare your essay as best as possible. the assess would be the most deciding factor for you to be able to progress to the second stage, which is the interview stage. The next slide is about a little bit of tips, but as we have Joktan here, maybe Joktan will share more than what I can share here through the slide. But basically, again, what we are looking for is do not try to be too general, or do not try to be too humble about yourself. You would need to demonstrate who you are to us. So we always recommend you to use STAR method. This is only recommendation. Please feel free to use any other methods that you think suits you better. So you can explain to us in a specific manners, what is the situation, what is your role to tackle a specific problem, for example, or that situation, what is your individual contribution, and how you influence people in making this contribution, for example, and then what is the result of your action. So please be specific to be able to, you need to be able to select which is the best example that highlights your skills and highlights your potential to be a future leader. Because with the limitation of 500 words, people often ask us, it's very difficult. Yeah, we have so many examples in throughout your life, throughout your career or throughout your community engagement experiences. But yes, so you need to be able to select which one would be the best to demonstrate your skills and capacities. Right. There are many guidance for you, including the online guidance provided in the Chevening website, chevening.org. If you visit our website, there is a new tab there, which is for Resource Hub. And under this tab, you would be able to find the online guidance for applying to Chevening Scholarship Program. Under this tab, we also have an online chat feature with our AI chatbots, which is called Charlie, Chevening Charlie. So you can have an online chat with our Charlie to ask any questions during the process of your applying to the Chevening program. We also recommend you to follow our social media, Instagram at UK in Indonesia, as well as the FCDO Chevening Instagram, because we do have many tips to share, and we do have upcoming webinars as well involving our alumni. So if you are following our social media, then you will be aware of when is the upcoming webinars and can potentially join and to hear more from our alumni as well. Also, I strongly recommend for you as well to follow the sosmed of our Chevening Alumni Association Indonesia. Currently, they do have a program for mentoring for the Indonesian awardees. But if they are, we can communicate. We can potentially work out with our alumni association to provide the mentoring assistance as well for our candidate here. But as well as we now have Joktan here, who I think will be happy as well to share his experiences in the Chevening journey. And we do have YouTube and podcast, which is more again about the tips and stories told by our scholars, but as well as our alumni from around the world. Right, I guess this is my last slide. Again, just please to remind you guys that you do have time until the 5th of November with the closing of the Chevening application program for this year, which is for the academic year of 2025-2026. Please do try to apply, and please make use of this opportunity now to ask any questions to us and also to the representative from the universities as well as our alumni. And so hopefully you have all the information that you need to apply for the Chevening program. And if you have tried to apply but were not successful yet, please don't be discouraged to apply again. The value is actually part of the journey to be successful again in the future. I guess that's it. And I do have one video, if we can share it, Ras. Can we please share one quick video, please? Thank you for sharing your screen. Yeah.
Sorry. Is it share?
Not yet.
Okay, sorry.
Merry Christmas, Chevening!
Happy holidays, everyone!
Feliz Navidad.
Merry Christmas!
One, two, three.
Right. So thank you so much. That was the overview of what Chevening Scholarship Program is. So now you are already equipped with the information and a little bit of tips and tricks about the Chevening Scholarship itself. I think it's time we talk about so what are the universities in the UK. And today we have a special guest. We have representative from Into Global who will be presenting about University of East Anglia and also University of Stirling. Without further ado, I will welcome Kak Ibrahim Putra to give presentation about the University of East Anglia. The time is yours.
Thank you so much. Hi everyone, my name is Ibrahim. I work for Into as well as University of East Anglia. So in the next 10 minutes, I will share a bit more about the university in general. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a message in the chat box. Okay, so I'll start. Can I check if everyone can see my screen clearly?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, okay, great. So, just an overview about the university. So, out of about 25,000 universities in the whole world, we are ranked in the top 30, top 300 in the world. That's an overall ranking worldwide. In the UK itself, we are ranked in the top 25 out of about 160 universities in the United Kingdom itself. So we are highly ranked in terms of our positioning. And so who are we? Just a little bit about our locations. The University of East Anglia, located in the city of Norwich, about 90 minutes from London. And we do have our own international airport. So every students who came to our campus, they can go directly and arrive in Norwich without having the hassle to arrive to London and then take another train to Norwich. Okay, so that's a bit of idea in terms of the location. We are not far from other major cities as well, such as Cambridge, Birmingham, as well as London. Okay. In terms of the campus itself, we are very much a research focused universities. One of the biggest research park in the United Kingdom as well as Europe, just beside our campus, uh, which is called Norwich Research Park. It is located beside the university. It is part of the university as well. So as you can see here, University of East Anglia is right here. On top of the picture here, and then the research institute just beside that. So we are in the one big areas. And then here's the university itself. So we are quite a big universities, and we have a lot of programs that I will share later on. And then we are currently developing new buildings. One of them is for science and engineering. So for students who are taking science and engineering programs, this will be your new building. For students taking engineering, computer science, and other natural science programs. And then not only that, we are also quite well known for our law school. This will be your building within the university. And then the class setting within the university, we have a big lecture class. In one class, there's about 50 to 100 students in it. But on top of that, we also have seminar rooms, which is a smaller scale. So you get a bit of both. And then in terms of teaching quality in the UK, we have a Teaching Excellence Framework, or TEF, and currently University of East Anglia has been awarded the gold-rated university. We have gold, silver, bronze, and provisional, and we have awarded the highest, which is gold. So we are very proud of that. So students who wants to get the best of the teaching experience, I think University of East Anglia is one of your choice. As well as other supports and facilities. We have multi-faith centers, more than 200 clubs and societies. We have student union. We have UNFNO, as well as a beautiful park in our campus. And then on top of that, some essentials, we have supermarket on campus, bike shop, UN nursery, even we have university hospital right in our campus. So really good for students who are taking health sciences as well. And for students who are seeking jobs opportunities, we have Career Central. Usually Career Central works with the companies as well in the UK as well as abroad. So they can help you when you are graduating from the university as well. And we do have our own student accommodation that I will share later on. And there will be a laundrette in it. So that's part of the support that we have. We have large scale in terms of sports facilities. One of them is Olympic standard swimming pool, clubs and societies, campus restaurants. And these are just some of the other facilities that we have on campus. So in terms of the clubs and societies, we do have international students clubs and societies. And if your club's interest is not listed in our websites yet, or it's not there yet, you can start your own clubs and societies if we have more than 3 students that are interested to start clubs and societies. So you can actually start your own student clubs. Okay, as well as sports clubs, we do have that as well. Overall, University of East Anglia, we are ranked in the top 25 in the world. In the UK, and then we are mid-sized universities, so students to faculty ratio is not as big. We have about 17,000 students enrolling in our campus. Okay. Great student staff and ratio, I mentioned that before, and we have 4 different faculties: arts, humanities, medicine and health science, science, as well as social science. So we have a wide range of programs in the master's level as well. Areas of studies, we have 4 different faculties, and amongst international students, there's lots of programs that amongst their favorite. One of them is international relation, international development, environmental science, engineering program. One of them is in energy and engineering, computer science, psychology, finance, creative writing, media and communication, business analytics, as well as economics of international finance and trade. And we've come to postgraduate entry requirements. So we do accept a bachelor's degree or diploma for. Depending on the program, we posted our entry requirements on our website, so you can look it up and see our entry requirements. So if we require 2.1, it means that we need about 3.0 and above. If it's a 2.2, then we will need around 2.7 GPA. It will also depend on the accreditation of the university itself. So best bet is to submit your application and to get assessed. And on top of the academic requirements, we also required to submit English requirement. One of them can be an IELTS, Pearson, TOEFL, or Duolingo. We accept these all. And again, we post our entry requirements on our websites. Do take a look because each programs have different entry requirements. Generally speaking, top postgraduate degrees or master's program, it requires about a 6.0 and above. Living on campus, we do have our own accommodation. So all students who international students can apply for student accommodation as well. In terms of the cost of living, campus accommodation started will cost you around 168 per week. And that is exclude the food, but the accommodation itself, it's already include all the electricity as well as water bill. Okay, just a little bit of City of Norwich. If you haven't heard about the City of Norwich, we are one of the best places to live in the UK. People find it safe. It's not as crowded as other big cities, for example. So it's nice to live and study in the City of Norwich. And we are ranked second safest city in England as well. And the City of Norwich is very beautiful. We have 4 seasons, obviously, and this is how it looks like during summer, and then again during winter. Very beautiful. We have winter park during December time. We have autumn as well as spring. Okay. And then we also call a City of Festival. There's lots of things going on in the city. We have Norwich Film Festival, Science Festival, and all that happening in the City of Norwich. These are just some of the films that are taking place in the City of Norwich, as well as in our campus in the University of East Anglia. One of them would be Avengers, Age of Ultron, that will take place in our Sciencebury Art Centers, as well as in our accommodation, actually. Okay. So last but not least, also about the tuition fees. It's all the postgraduate thought programs cost around 20,000 and above. And we do have January intake as well for students who probably didn't make it in September. We have several courses that are available within January. All right. So that is that summary about University of East Anglia. If anyone have any questions, I'm happy to talk further about the university. But now I think I'll pass it on to Daniel to explain a bit about the University of Stirling.
Great. Thank you so much, Ibam. And hello, everybody. A very good afternoon for all of you and welcome to the University of Stirling. Today, I'd like to share a little bit more about the university so that becomes another great option for you to consider when you plan to study in the UK with the Chevening Scholarship. So allow me to share my screen real quick. You would see right here. There we go. So a lot of people always ask me, where is Stirling in the map? And a lot of people don't know where Stirling is located. So what we wanted to do is quickly give you a quick idea where Stirling is located. We are located what we call in the central belt of Scotland. So people always understand that Scotland is actually part of the UK. And so don't be mistaken that we are a whole different country by itself, but we are part of the United Kingdom. And Stirling is right in the middle between Glasgow and Edinburgh. So you would be having the best access ever to study with one of the most conducive, great, safe environment to live in Stirling. So we are just about 45 minutes from Edinburgh and only 30 minutes from Glasgow. There's two major big airports in this, Glasgow and Edinburgh. So you'll be flying into both any one of those cities as your gateway to go into Stirling. And because when the north, which is in Scotland, you would have great options to go to other part north of the UK, such as Newcastle or areas in the northern part of the UK as well. So a very great location, very beautiful location. If you know Scotland, if you've seen a lot of videos and movies of in Edinburgh, so you would see that Scotland is one of the most beautiful place on earth. The city of Stirling is really well known for the heritage, the music, the nightlife, food and drink, art and culture, but also a very small, vibrant, safe environment. There's only 92,000 population, so it's not a very, very big city by itself, but it's one of the most affordable cities in the UK. So for you that are on scholarship, you would see they are one of the most affordable places to live in the UK. Is in fact about 40% less than what you would be paying for living costs in London. The people are very warm, very welcoming, and don't worry, people always been mistaken that they speak Scottish. They don't speak you won't understand the accent, but trust me, you would understand the accent. So don't worry about that. That's definitely not true if you don't understand the accent of Scottish. Now, why this university? This is one of the most, one of the greatest university that I've seen in Scotland. And you can see here, Stirling is very popular with a lot of different things. The outdoor, if you love the outdoor, a lot of great places to go, from lakes to mountains to valleys and stuff like that. If you go to Glasgow, for example, you'll see all the modern activities from like concerts and activities that are just very well attended, like this one in the screen here. But this is to give you an idea that Scotland, or the central belt of Scotland, is very much engaging with both the nature, but also fun stuff for students as well. Okay, the university, as mentioned, is about 18,000 students. A lot of us are taking undergraduate with about 12,000, but 6,000 students are at the postgraduate. We have over 30% international students. So when you see our campus, it's very diverse. So you're not going to be the only international student. You're not going to be the only small portion or the minority. Because when you see about 30% of the population, you'll see many, many international students from all over the world. We have over 140 nationalities all on campus. So we are one of the most diverse campus in the UK. We're top 30 for postgraduate degrees and postgraduate student experience. And you'll see here, we are also has 5-star QS rating when it comes to teaching and internationalization of facilities. In fact, we're also well known for Scotland's University for Sporting Excellence. In fact, at the university, we actually host many of the English Olympiads that are actually studying here at Stirling as well. So it's a very great university that I'd like to really share with you quickly in this quick video.
Daniel, it doesn't have the sound.
Seems that you cannot hear it. I'm very sorry that the audio is not turning, but you can see a bit of glance of the university. It's a very green campus with a very beautiful lake right in the middle of the campus. So why study postgraduate degree at Stirling? 3 things. The first one is Stirling is well known to do a few things. The first one is to create programs that are very career ready. So when you graduate from Sterling, you are ready to get into the job market. You are ready to be the next leaders that you would see in any industries that you would be taking on. The second is that you would also have a lot of research impact. We do tons of research from health science to leadership to teaching and economics and all those majors that we do have at the university. So we're very much of a research-based university as well. And lastly, it's a very nice place to call home. A lot of our students don't want to leave Sterling because they just fall in love at the city, at the campus, and how the beauty of the campus itself. So the campus itself really brings a lot of career-ready graduates as well, helps you to find jobs and helps you to be ready before you graduate. During the university session, there's a lot of visiting speakers and guest lectures coming in, networking and career sessions coming into the university. So although we are in a small town, you would still be able to meet with a lot of people for networking and a lot of great opportunities for you to expand your soft skills as well. These are some of the companies that a lot of our graduates have gone on to work after they graduate. We have 5 faculties at the university, the arts and humanities, with so many different majors from communications to film, media, arts, journalism, law, politics, and religion, and all those kind of art humanities program. We also have health, science, and sport. Sport is very, very big at Sterling. We are, again, as I mentioned, one of the top sporting universities in Scotland and also in the UK. We have from nursing to mental health to paramedics, sport science, sport management, a lot of different majors under health and science and sport. Social science, we have criminology and all things that focus on education, as well as natural science with biology, data science, marine biology, psychology, and all that kind of stuff. And lastly, of course, our Sterling Management School, another very popular business school in the UK with very focused on accountancy, economics, leaderships, and management and marketing. Postgraduate studies at Sterling, there's 2 types. You can take the postgraduate taught, which means that you would be full-time studying on campus, but we also have postgraduate research where you will focus on mainly on research only with our professors at the university. But with the Chevening Scholarship, I believe a lot of you would be taking the taught program where you would get degrees such as MSc, MBA, MPH, Master of Literature, and all the other degrees that we do offer during the postgraduate research. Okay. Normally, it's only 1 year at length and about 12 to 21 months. There's 90 plus courses that you can look for. These are some of the very popular majors from MBA, MSc in Business Analytics, Data Science, and Business Management. So these are the most popular ones with a lot of our students taking the business school, but other schools that are from health science and social science is also quite popular with a lot of students. Students will be taking this as an example for the MBA. You would be taking a lot of different modules that are core, but also optional modules that you'll be taking as well. Our program for the business school is accredited by AACSB and as well as the Chartered Management School. So a lot of options that you can take. We have great campus life on campus. We have everything pretty much on campus, from cinema to library to cafes to pharmacists, doctors, and everything. So literally, you don't really need to go out of the campus at all because we have everything on campus for you. As I mentioned before, it's a really great place to call home. We have one of the most affordable housing as well, with just about 100 to 215 per week when it comes to the rentals for accommodation on single room. So very popular, very great accommodations on campus. Tons of things that you can do on campus with sports, with student union and clubs and societies. So I believe you would never get bored when you are at Sterling because there's so many things to do with hundreds and thousands of students to be there with. Entry requirements, you would need a bachelor's degree or completion of bachelor's degree with normally a very minimum of 2.5 GPA or above. That's the minimum requirement. There are some courses relevant that that is required for certain majors. So do check on that on our website if you're searching for some majors, because some majors like economics would require you to complete some economic module for the first year and all those kind of stuff. The minimum IELTS requirement is 6.0, and which no bands would be under 5.5. We do have preparatory programs, pre-masters and stuff like that. So talk to us if you do need that kind of support. But academically, you would need to find all these documents to apply, from academic transcript, qualifications or certificate, ijazah, right? Your references from academic or professionals showing that you have completed some references, as well as supporting statement why you want to take this course, evidence of English proficiency, and of course your research proposal if you're doing PhD. Tuition fee range from 17,000 all the way to 25,000. It really depends on what majors you're taking. Average living cost from 8,000 all the way to 12,000, depending on which one you would be taking on the courses. Again, Stirling is voted as one of the most affordable UK city, and also one of the safest student city to live in as well, giving you great options to study at Stirling, with a lot of different scholarships as well if you are taking other scholarships if you do qualify. If you have any questions, feel free to go through our website, or always ask in the chat box. We'll be very happy to answer your questions. So good luck and be Stirling, everybody.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ibrahim, and also Daniel, for the presentation about the university in the UK. Today is actually very, very special because we have information about the university in England from the University of East Anglia, which is in Norwich. As everybody realized or aware that it shows Norwich, but it's actually pronounced as Norwich. So there's no W in it. Funny with English. And Daniel already presenting about the University of Stirling, which is in Scotland as well. And now we are going to talk with the alumni of Chevening, coming from the Timor-Leste, and he's actually studied in North Wales. So this is actually, today's webinar representing almost all of the UK countries, I would say, because again, like already mentioned before, UK is actually involved of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. So without further ado, I will invite Joktan to be here today. Hello, Joktan. How are you? Hello, Joktan. Can you hear me?
Class.
Hello.
Yeah, very clear.
Thank you. Right. So let me just give you a little bit background information about Joktan. So Joktan is our Chevening alumni in cohort 2022-2023, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it 2021-2022?
That's right.
2022-2023, right? So Joktan was studying for the MSc in Marine Biology at Bangor University in North Wales. Did I pronounce it right? Bangor? Or
That's right.
Bangor?
Bangor.
Bangor. Right. And Joktan is currently working with CSIRO as the in-country advisor for risk assessment and fisheries adaptation planning, Fiji and Timor-Leste project. So we will hear more from Joktan, but just to remind everybody, please give us any questions that you would like to ask, whether it is about the Chevening, about the University of East Anglia or University of Stirling, or if you would like to ask Joktan as well, the alumni, about his tips and tricks or his, a little bit of stories when he's in the UK, feel free to do that on the chat box or on the Q&A section or feature on Zoom. So Joktan, can you please introduce yourself perhaps a little bit more, maybe tell us about where you actually coming from the Timor-Leste region, and, just a little bit background of yourself. Go ahead.
Hey everybody, I'm Joktan Lopez. I'm native Timorese. I'm born and raised in Timor, which is part of the mainland, way far the tipping point of the mainland, the east side. So after completed my bachelor's degree in the States. I did marine science and environmental studies, and I came back to Timor. I worked for approximately 5 to 6 years in the fishery sector. So I decided to carry on my academic trajectory, pursuing master's degree in the UK, which having a year, let's say, off from work, I decided to select or pick the best university in ocean sciences, one of the largest institutions in ocean in the Europe, and that's why I preferably picked the Bangor University for my master's. In terms of applying this the Chevening scholarship program is as mentioned earlier, it's for potential leaders. But on top of that, it gives you an opportunity to be scientific led kind of leaders as well in your sector. So having having a robust background in ocean sciences, also with my work in Timor, it really motivates me to pursue my master's to one of the renowned universities in the UK. And coming back with my master's, I'm able to work again in the sector and contribute to a larger scale, not only Timor, but in the Pacific region as a whole.
Wow, that was such a great introduction. You mentioned about studying in the UK for master's degrees actually just 1 year. It seems like very short comparing to other master's degree program around the world, including I think in Indonesia and also in Australia, Japan, America. But maybe can I ask you a little bit, Joktan, like what is the most challenging part of applying the scholarship? Did you try other scholarships as well, or were you just like laser focused? Just this Chevening scholarship is the one that I want, because you mentioned about you want to go to Europe to study in the one of the best university in the world. So perhaps you can tell us a bit about the most challenging part of applying scholarship, looking for the university itself, etc.
Having a year academic for master's program, it's quite demanding, but at the same time, it's highly enjoyable based on my personal experience. And it's relatively unique experience. So basically, really comes back to your personal level. You gotta be fully prepared, because once you get to UK, on the next day, literally, you start your academic year. You go into a class. So I took master's degree, which is research-based kind of modules. So going to UK, I believe picking a tailored courses that align well with your prospect job and the limitation that you have personally, or even the country level. Reading those, tap into those patterns and gaps, it really helps you to tailor or draft your essays that well, and consult with people in that sector so that they can guide you as well, especially your supervisors or people, alumni communities, and people that you can trust, and they can guide you to that. So having a year study in the UK, I just say it's quite short, but so enjoyable. If you're fully prepared for it, I think that's the way to go. I prefer to have a year learning to take risks, because if you want to become a leader in near future, you gotta take risks. So a year, it can be a bit shock for some people, but no, once you get there, once you knock the door, I think the door gonna open for you, and you're gonna explore more. And once you adapt to the education system, I think there's a way to go, and you can explore more and do well, exceptionally well in your assessments, and get a good exposure on UK education system. But at the same time, it's all about balance, right? At our age, if you're pursuing your master's, it's not you're not going to study solely on spend your time on the desktop to study, but you can go out, enjoy nightlife, joining society, so you can do some hiking or trips to different cities. It really gives you a whole picture of the UK in terms of adversities, different foods, and innovation, science. It really shape your view on how people come together to UK, and um, for better impact, I guess. So don't be afraid to try for the Chevening program, despite a year challenging education kind of time frame. But it's gonna be worth it, and it'll do more, and it'll be so proud of yourself and your family and your country.
Thank you, Joktan. So you actually mentioned a lot of interesting stuff there, like asking your peers, your colleagues about, what can you contribute to the, or like in your sectors, what is there any expertise gap that you can contribute to, and that will help you writing on your essay, as also kind of give you like a focus on, why do I actually need this master degree program, and then going to a whole another country, literally a different side of the world, a different side of the globe, because UK is very far. Perhaps you can tell us what was the motivation, what actually inspires you to, I think I need to study again, I think this is my time, I need to take, like you mentioned, I need to take a year gap to leap the faith, to take the risk, to go to another country to study. What was it that actually motivated you?
I believe as you age, especially uh, focus on education, you start to think, start to aim higher and higher. So that's what I went through in my trajectory in terms of from professionalism and in transition to academic. Since I was in the high school, I always aspire to be a marine biologist or ocean scientist. So I believe I'm in the making to be a scientist, or even I'll call myself as a published scientist, as I published 3 papers already while I was after completing my bachelor's, prior to apply to the Chevening scholarship. So it's a big motivation at the personal level, especially in this sector that we don't have that many people. And there's a light, there's a hope that you can do more and not become a pioneer. I think pioneer is quite like ambitious term, I'll say, but humble yourself to take next step, or to take risks. That's the mentality that I have, and I always allow myself to learn and learn more. And I think that's how evolution operates, I believe, at the personal level. So also with your work environment really helps you to pursue more. So going to the UK for my master is that since I did my bachelor's already in the States, so it was a big motivation. So I want to do a master's in the UK or in the Europe, and maybe PhD in another continent. So it's all about aiming high to obtain this global knowledge and experience so that you can become more innovative in your approaches, ideas, and you can help not only at the final scale at your country level, but help more people at global stage. And it's always good to be ambitious, but at the same time, be humble and immerse yourself to whatever challenges you have, and you can become one of the heavy hitters in the game, right? So, yeah.
Thank you so much for that. So perhaps, Joktan, can you tell us what was the most memorable experience you had while you were in the UK, especially I think Wales?
I think one of the most memorable moments, I have two or three, is joining different societies to explore the nature, because as I say, it's all about balance. You're not there to just solely study, but also experiencing the beautiful nature of the UK, especially in North Wales. Perhaps you heard about Snowdonia National Park. It's quite popular. And also the hands-on experience. I was able to be part of the research uh, uh, community where we used the research vessel. We went all the way to Irish Sea to collect benthic data on the sediments and different types of species, and we came back to the lab and analyzed all those taxonomical IDs, and we populate it into one single data set, and we produce a nice report. So it was a kind of a good project to have, and also in terms of teaching quality, uh, the uh, the professors they are quite helpful and guiding you, and don't be afraid to approach them if you encounter any difficulties in your assignments. Please do, because they are there to help you out. And also with my thesis, I was able to propose my own proposal, which is it was our very first time in the School of Ocean Science at Bangor University, a master's students who was the first time proposed their own project. So I was proposed a project about Timor on the invertebrates fisheries about Timor, where women are actively engaged in fishing activities, but we often overlook. So I look at that and I proposed to a school and they were happy. So they accepted that proposal. So my master's thesis or dissertation, I wrote about Timor. And I was able to write the draft, and we collaborated with National Museum at Paris. So I went to Paris actually to do the taxonomical ID on the invertebrates that we transported to Paris. So it was a nice collaboration. So as you say, while doing your master's, it's about networking, collaboration that can allow you to expose your research impact and enable you to know more people in the sector. So it was a nice experience, and until today I still have a good connection with my private lecturers and people who I work with, and it's been a pleasure with Chevening program itself, and I still keep in touch with Chevening program board member like yourself and other colleagues at Embassy in Jakarta, and it's been a big family, I would say so.
Thank you so much, Joktan. It seems like you had a wonderful time. So it's not just about UK, but you managed to have a more international exposure when you did your, is it like a research and project as well in and collaboration project with the museum in Paris, right? So it's such a great experience actually, as also because you mentioned about you did a project or the research or the dissertation that you did is back about Timor-Leste and women and fisheries. So it's something that when we go to other country to study, it's not just us taking the knowledge or the information from them, but all the international students coming to the UK also learn something or get some new information from us. So it's kind of like an exchange information, exchange knowledge in a way when you go to study abroad, and it's something, you know, memorable experience for most of the international students. Thank you so much, Joktan, for that. Everybody, if you want to start asking questions to Joktan, to Ibrahim from the University of East Anglia, and Daniel from the University of Stirling, or about the Chevening scholarship itself, you can ask now on the Zoom chat or the Q&A feature or the YouTube chat as well. But perhaps Joktan, last but not least, can you give any advice to the future Cheveners from Timor-Leste? Perhaps they're still, you know, debating or still thinking, wondering, should I go study abroad? Should I go to the UK to take this master degree under this Chevening scholarship? Perhaps you have some advice to them. Go for it. Up to you if you want to say it in English, perhaps in Tagalog as well. Go for it.
I think I'll be in English and maybe a bit of Teton. I think if a believer of applying for Chevening scholarship is that be authentic, being real to yourself, and write a nice essay, because it's all about tell your story to the panels, and you'll market yourself, but in a way that you can convince them to pick you as one of the best candidates globally, because the Chevening it's a global kind of competition, and to be part of this umbrella or this family, it's a big deal. It's a big deal, trust me. And please do for Timorese candidates who want to apply for this scholarship. La belle moia tu aplica, mabe tinki fiaran, hau noi sempre esperança, basira nebe iha mehi atu bel halo transformação basira ne moris rasik no sociedade.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Joktan, for that. I think I will invite Ibrahim and also Daniel and Bafoni to the, I would call it to the screen, not to the stage. Let me, how to add this? Okay. Right. Then we can sort of like have a conversation and answer the questions from the audience as well. Kak Ibrahim and Kak Daniel, if you can, yeah, start the video so I can add you to the spotlight. Perhaps we can start first with the questions that we have on the already coming in to us. Perhaps this is best for Mbak Foni. Firma Ferreira actually asking about what kind of work experience does Chevening value most in its applicants? Mbak Foni, go for it.
Thank you, Ras, and thank you, Tina, yeah? Tina, for Tina, sorry, for your questions. It's very interesting question because we do get similar question asked to us. But so Chevening, we accept all kinds of work experiences. As mentioned earlier, we can accept volunteering activities, we can accept full-time work employment, obviously, part-time work experience, volunteering and internship. So I guess what matters for Chevening is, again, comes back to the whole point of Chevening is looking for future leaders, is how through these experiences you can demonstrate your experience and your potential to be a leader. It doesn't have to be linear to the master degree that you are going to take in the UK, but it is better if you do show consistency. Because if then you show inconsistency, you will still need to explain to us on why you are now changing the course, especially if the experience that you have put into the application, it has been a long time. Yeah? For example, if you've been working in one sector for more than 5 years, 6 years, but now then you suddenly want to do another degree in different sectors, then we would need to see the consistency of why you want to make that change. But again, we value any kind of work experiences that you can tell us what you've been doing outside of your academic study. And this is then comes back again to you on how then you can explain it, yeah, or elaborate it in more detail in the essay. Yes, that's it from Miras. And Harry is here. Perhaps Harry, if you would like to add some more points. Thank you.
Yeah, so the question, Harry, from let me see again, from Firma Ferreira, asking about what kind of work experience does Chevening value most in its applicants?
I'm sure Vonnie has just given an excellent response, which I only heard about half of. I'm so sorry, but I think as Vonnie was saying, so it's about how it links with what you're saying your future career plans are. So we're not going to be reading your essays thinking that a certain kind of work experience, whether it's part-time, full-time internship, work experience programs is more valuable than others, but how you show that that experience has led you to where you are now and how you're going to use that experience when you come back to Timor-Leste, combined with the skills that you've learned from studying in the UK, and bring that together for your future. That's the main thing. That's probably what Vonnie just said.
Thank you so much, Harry. So perhaps the same questions, because we are talking about working experience, and then when the candidates are applying to university in the UK, Ibrahim and Daniel, perhaps you can answer this as well. Is there any certain work experience that the candidate needs to have before they applying to the universities, especially for the master's degree program?
That's a very good question. I think from the university's perspective, for Master of Science and Master of Arts programs, we do not require work experience in general. However, it is required for our MBA programs. It ranges from 3 years to 5 years managerial level. But to be more specific, feel free to take a look in our websites too.
How about in Sterling? Is it similar?
Yeah, I think it's very similar. Very, very similar with Sterling. Only for MBA does require work experience. That's very normal. I think majority of UK universities does the same thing. And cross majors are also fine as long as there's prerequisites that you have completed. So for example, if you're going to study economics, for example, you do need to have a bit of economic background or accounting background, because it would be really difficult if you're taking Masters of Economics, but you don't know how to do the professional accounting from the beginning. So it would be really tough on that one. And that's when universities then would ask them to do pre-masters first. But I believe pre-masters is not something that's the Chevening would actually sponsor. So you do need to really look at what majors that is really fit to you and what is the requirements. So from now, you can always start asking to ask questions. We will actually leave later on a link for you guys. If you have any questions or anything, you can always go through that and we can answer you more specifically when it comes to entry requirements to the universities.
Thank you so much for that. That actually perfect bridge, because we have another question from Viviana Granadero on can I take another major for my master's, which is slightly different from my bachelor's. This is probably something that so many candidates of Chevening asking, and at the same time they're also asking or wondering if the university in the UK will consider them as well. Like Daniel mentioned about how about say I don't have any academic background. However, in my working experience, I do have a little bit experience on or relevant experience to the master's degree program that I'm going to choose. Is that something that can be considered by Chevening? And university. Perhaps we can ask the Chevening first. But Bonnie, perhaps you would like to answer this.
Yep. Thank you, Ranas, and thank you, Vivian, for the question again. So yes, definitely, you can apply for Chevening program, even though your master degree that you intend to take in the UK is different from your bachelor degree. This is actually quite common situation, yeah, that we see from our candidates, whereby they usually what happens is they already have their undergraduate degree, but then their working experiences is in different sector from their bachelor degree. And that's why now, after getting these work experiences and trying to progress their career, but as well as having the opportunity to be in an influential position in this current sector that they're working in, now they have identified that there is a need for them to do a postgraduate degree related to their current job. And this is very common, and we see this all the time to our candidates. So yes, that's possible. Again, you would need to demonstrate in your essay the change and why the change of circumstances, to explain particularly that because you are now in this sector and you are still lacking the qualification to do it, and hence you need this master degree from the UK. It's very common cases.
Harry, would you like to add to that?
No.
All right. Yeah, I think for an explanation is basically cover the answers. But perhaps from the university side, because we for Chevening scholarship there's no age limit, and sometimes candidates are applying and their academic background might not be as relevant as their working experience, because it's been so long time ago. So do you have any perspective from the university side? Does the working experience actually be considered as part of the academic background? Ibrahim, over it.
Okay. From the university perspective, we do assess students on a case-to-case basis. So, for example, if student has quite a good experience in other fields, probably not the same with their bachelor's degree, that would be fine. So it would really depends on the programs. However, some of the professional course, for example, psychology and other, or other such as architecture, for example, they do require a similar background. So it will depend on the on each programs that students are applying for. And on top of that, some students are quite unique, so it will depend on the working experience background as well.
Okay. Danielle, how about Sterling? Is it similar?
Yep. Honestly, very similar.
All right. There's another question from Christian Limbong. May I know what is the Chevening sponsor program for Master in Construction and Arbitration Law? I think I can answer this actually quickly. For Chevening, we accept any courses as long as it's a master's degree and in the UK university, in any UK university. So as long as it's there, it's available, we can sponsor the program. But perhaps when talking about construction and arbitration law, does Sterling or East Anglia has similar program, or perhaps a relevant program that is similar with masters in construction and arbitration law? Who would like to answer this? UEA is Ibrahim.
Unfortunately, we don't have masters in law at Sterling. We don't have a law school. I believe UEA would have a law school that may be interesting for you.
Yes. So we do have a law degree. We're quite well known, just like I mentioned before in the presentations. Quite a range of programs as well. So depending on the students' focus in areas in LLM.
All right, thank you. And also on the website of Chevening, we have a feature on the website called Find a Course. So you can use that feature on the website and just put Masters in Construction and Law, and then there will be a list of relevant courses and universities available in the UK. That is, maybe very much similar to what you would like to find. So you can use that feature as well. We have we have more questions now. From Yuriko da Costa, what is the international business and trade study in the University of East Anglia and Stirling and University of Stirling? And what is the advice to take another master's in the UK? This is probably somebody who already have a master's degree before, and then they would like to take a second master's in the UK. Is there any, perhaps from the university side point of view, would you accept somebody or candidate who will take a second master's?
Happy to take it for Sterling. So we do have Masters in International Business, or we call Global Business. You can also apply for that program regardless if you already have a master's degree or not. So, but all you need to do, if you have taken a master's degree, make sure it's clearly written in your CV, in your personal statement, and state the reason why would you want to do another master's degree. So that gives us an idea why, what's the reasoning behind you taking that second master's degree. I think that's the main thing that we do have.
And for the University of East Anglia, we have International Business Economics MSc, as well as Economics of International Finance and Trade. Similar to what Sterling, in terms of academic background, we will assess on a case-to-case basis. So do apply, and we'll come back if we need more documents or information from each student.
Yeah, and from the Chevening itself, second master's is okay as long as your previous master's degree are not paid or is not paid or funded by the UK government, or so basically Joktan, who is already went to study in the UK under the Chevening scholarship, cannot reapply for Chevening again. So as long as you are being funded from other, not from the UK government, you can do second masters as well. Last but not least, I think from Jacob Siringoringo, I have the same case, but let me ask a little bit specific. My bachelor subject was history, but I'd like to continue my master's degree in environmental course as my working background on indigenous issues over the last 7 years. Maybe you agree where history subject is also quite far from the state's common project development, where I should consider very much. If there is any question, thank you. Perhaps this is something that Joktan could answer as well, or maybe give advice on somebody who's know the area. Is Joktan here? Oh, I think there's a internet problem with Joktan. That's okay, but Foni, perhaps you would like to answer on this.
Yes.
Oh, Joktan is here.
Yes, thank you, Ross. Right. Okay, Joktan is back.
Hello.
Hi, Joktan. So we have question from Jacob. So his case is a little bit specific. His bachelor subject was history, but he would like to continue his master's degree in environmental course, as his working background is on indigenous issues over the last 7 years. Perhaps you can give your perspective on this. Do you know anyone from the alumni side or from other students that has a similar case, and especially in the terms of Timor-Leste's development projects? Is there any subjects that you would recommend for Jacob?
I believe this should be considered, especially you've been working for more than 5 years and you have the robust knowledge and experience in that sector. If this candidate tailor his or her essay well, I think that person should be admitted to the second phase or for the interview. Because having this professional experience, and especially with the specific sector in indigenous rights and the environment or natural resource management, I think it's high chance of getting the scholarship, because it's quite an important dimension in natural resource management. So please do apply. You just have to be fully prepared on your essay, and also specifically for the university, the personal statement should be clearly state that what you need to achieve and why you have to bring up the indigenous kind of aspect into your master's degree. And it's quite an interesting topic, and it's been a big debate around indigenous rights and studies. So please do. I think you're quite a strong candidate if you do well.
Thank you so much for that. Lastly, from Muhammad Nur Rahman, he's going to take Sustainable Energy Masters in the UK, which specialized in solar technology. Is there anything that the UK government specifically pursue to achieve 70 GW in 2050, and why I should consider UK rather than other countries to fulfill my gap in sustainable energy? Perhaps this is something that Harry could answer.
Yeah,
on.
thanks, Raras. So I'm going to completely, I'm just reading the question for myself. I'm going to completely say that working on Chevening and education, I don't feel I've got the answer on the 2050 specifically. But what I'd say on the education side is that sustainable energy, climate science, and energy engineering, etc., are all areas that UK universities have got particular expertise on. So I think particularly when we're talking to government partners here in Indonesia, the things that they recognise the UK's expertise on is, I think it was phrased as blue, green, and digital. That is climate and energy, marine and maritime, and digital and tech. So they were the things that we've been told are top subjects that our international partners see the UK as being particularly strong on, and climate and energy are particularly essential to that. And we also see on our alumni community that we get a very high amount of applications, which we really welcome, from people looking to do masters through Chevening in subjects related to energy and climate. So as Rara said earlier, the Chevening website has a function where you can see different universities that specialize, or different courses. So if you have a look at that, you'll see the range of subjects. But I imagine both UEA and Stirling will have courses that they can pitch that are in the energy space. But yeah, definitely the UK is a great place to study those subjects.
Thank you, Harry. Yes, perhaps from Ibrahim or Daniel, if you would like to add on this, on sustainable energy relevant.
Yes, so from the University of East Anglia, we do have two programs. We do have energy engineering, as well as energy engineering with environmental management. In the city of Norwich itself, we're lacking the source of staff and expertise in the renewable energy as well. So within the areas, we are looking for expertise in that area. So definitely UK is the right options.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Daniel, would you like to add on that?
We don't have a lot of majors that focus on this, but we do have specifically like more programs that focus on like environmental management rather than just focus on that. But the environmental management program really is part of it where you would learn about conservations of energy informatics, as well as climate justice issues as well that they'll be studying. So I think that's the nearest that we would have with energy programs.
Thank you. Yeah, because when we talk about sustainable energy, there is so many angles that you would like to study. So it all depends on you. You could just, you could use that feature on the Chevening website to see what courses offers what, basically, because each the name of the course might be similar from one university to another. However, the modules that they offer, or each of the university and each of the course offer, would be different. And it's great because I'm also an alumni of UK myself, and I experienced it first handly, can I say that, that the modules offered by each universities are kind of like a interdisciplinary. So you might be able to like pick and choose what modules that suits more to your needs, especially for your professional needs. And I think we almost at the end of the webinar schedule, so perhaps this is going to be like last advice for all the Timorese, and perhaps I think I saw that some attendees are also from Indonesia. So for Timorese and Indonesian candidates, is there any advice to apply to study in the UK and apply for Chevening? Perhaps I can ask Ibrahim first, and then Daniel, and then Bavoni and Harry and Joktan. Then,
Thank you. So yes, we are starting to accept application for September intake. So do submit your applications for essentially for master's program. We do need a set of a few documents to be submitted, usually passport, transcript, their certificate from the bachelor's degree as well, IELTS reference letter, and as well as CV. So these documents will be assessed, usually turn over time from UAs of around 2 weeks to 1 month after application is being submitted. So do submit your application as soon as possible so that we can assess your applications.
I guess one thing from my end would be, don't stop to try. If you don't try, you would not know how you would be. So at least try first. Give yourself a chance to try so that you would know how it would be. And I think there's a lot of people to support. I'm going to also put in the chat box, if you have any questions, you can always email to this generic email address, which is indonesia@interglobal.com, where our team is there to support with all your questions to study at Stirling as well as University of East Anglia. Okay, so don't forget, try your best and try to apply first, and you'll see how it is later.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ras. I guess the second Pak Daniel advice is just don't give up. In trying to apply for Chevening, we don't have any limit for you to try to apply for the Chevening program. But as I briefly mentioned earlier, when we talk to our alumni, some of our alumni, they do succeed after several tries. However, there is a little bit of learning and lesson learned during their journey while they keep on trying applying, and this is actually is a very positive experience for them, in that they are then finding their own self. They have in their journey, keep trying on applying for Chevening, they're finding actually what their true passion is and what their intent to do after they get back to Indonesia. So it's part of the journey. It's not a value. So I hope that this session has been very informative. And again, just please make use of all the online resources available, the chat online, the search feature, and try to prepare your application as best as possible. Good luck to you all.
Right, Harry. Right.
I've just been thinking, after having been listening to particularly UEA and Stirling, and I think my bit of advice is going to be that we get a lot of applications and a lot of successful Chevening scholars each year who are going to quite a small group of universities, particularly universities in London. And obviously there are some great universities in London, but also part of the wealth of the UK higher education offer is that there are universities all around the country that have quite specific expertise in specific subjects and also allow you to experience a side of the UK that you'll visit London, you'll go to London for the Chevening welcome, the send off before you go home. You'll have the chance to visit study around the UK, but there's a real like what's the word, richness in going to study in a city that maybe you don't know as well, that you'll develop a love for over your time and come back to Timor-Leste telling people about Norwich or about Stirling and a place that people don't know about before. So I'd really encourage you to think broadly about where the best place for you is and do your research on where that city might be and where that university is.
Thank you, Joktan. I know I've already asked you this, but perhaps just like one last encouragement sentence to your fellow Timoris and perhaps the future of Chevening. Okay.
I was gonna add to what Harry just said. It's good to be strategic and think broadly on what universities are available and what courses they might offer that can align well with what you want to do in the future. So think outside of London or Oxford. There's plenty of quite renowned universities that offer nice and tailored courses that really help you to do well in your assignments and make most of it really. Because considering the class size, like how many people in that program, also a big factor as well. If you only have a very small group of students in the class, you can learn a lot and you can expand your network with these people and make a lasting relation with these people and make a good friends after your master's program. So yeah, just explore, do your research and come up with a strategic decision and go from there.
Thank you so much, Joktan. So everyone, thank you so much for attending the webinar. This webinar is an info session about Chevening Scholarship Program, which is fully funded by the UK government, specifically by the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, or FCO. It's quite equivalent with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Indonesia. And this webinar is brought to you by the British Embassy Jakarta to promote the fully funded scholarship opportunity for everyone who is interested in applying for master's degree in the UK. There is no age limit. You can apply for any courses for master's degree program in any UK universities. We are still open the applications on our website www.chevening.org/apply, and we will close the applications on the 5th of November 2024. Make sure that you know that the timing deadline is not 12 o'clock in your time, in your home country time, but it's actually 12 o'clock midday in the UK. So just make sure you keep up, you catching up with the updated information. Go follow our social media on Instagram and X at UK in Indonesia. And also on Facebook, we have British Embassy Jakarta. So thank you again. Thank you so much for coming here. Thank you, Mbak Foni. Thank you, Ibrahim. And thank you, Daniel. And also thank you for our Chevening alumni from Timor-Leste, Joktan, for coming here and sharing your experience and tips and tricks for everybody here. I hope that this information is useful for everybody. And we will catch you again in the next webinar. So thank you again. Bye, everyone. Terima kasih banyak, obrigada.